Chapter 7. Mohsen quickly put on his clothes and stood at the hotel door waiting for her to leave. He realized that she must be leaving soon. And he knows that the Odeon box office opens at 11 o'clock. And he was not disappointed. After a moment, he heard her voice as she came down the stairs asking the innkeeper about the morning mail. He got ready and controlled his nerves. She had barely approached him before he approached her and raised his black hat. She raised her beautiful eyelashes and closed her turquoise eyes at him. He was shaken, and he did not know how to begin speaking. The girl imagined that she had seen this coat and this black hat before, and it appeared on her face that she remembered him. As soon as Mohsen saw that from her, he immediately said, "Yes, I am him." I smiled a little, however. She said, "Who is he?" The boy was ashamed and confused, and the girl saw the harshness of her response to him, so she realized, "If I did not think wrong, then you, sir, are my client." "Yes, I am your regular customer. And I am honored to be so. What brought you to this neighborhood that foreigners do not know?" "Excuse my curiosity." "Your curiosity, my lady, is all that I hope for and what I love. It brought me to this neighborhood, curiosity." She smiled and said, "Also. But something much bigger than this." His face turned a little red, and he was afraid that the situation had taken a long time and that he had interrupted her journey, so he quickly expressed his regret to her. He moved away from her path and asked her permission to walk beside her for a little while until he finished his conversation. So she gave him permission and they walked to the metro station, and he said, "I came to you. Make a reservation to watch this evening's story. The box office is not here. Is there in the theater? What prevents it from being anywhere you go? He is the one who should follow you. Like everything and every human being." So she turned to him to clarify his situation. It was as if I realized a little the truth of its purpose. "How did you know that I lived in this neighborhood and this hotel?" "Wow. Do you live in this neighborhood and this hotel? So you live in this neighborhood and this hotel." So I looked at him carefully. It is like someone looking at a strange creature, but then he goes on and says, how happy he is. "I also live in this neighborhood, and this hotel." She said in a suspicious tone, "A long time ago?" "Since?" "I don't know." "Yes, a long time ago." The girl did not speak, and a deep silence prevailed between them. Mohsen felt a coldness surrounding the situation and saw the metro station just a few steps away from them, and he feared that she would suddenly force him to separate from her, and he had not yet said anything that would confirm this flying connection to the ground, so he rushed to say without thinking, "How beautiful this morning is. I woke up to the song, Carmen, rising from a window under my window, but with what voice and what singing?" As if the girl heard nothing, she remained silent, and she had approached the ground stairs of the metro. So she turned to Mohsen and extended her hand to him, saying, in a voice full of reserve, as if she was addressing someone she did not know and was not keen on getting to know, "Good morning, sir." She descended the stairs and disappeared in the blink of an eye, leaving the boy in his place, like a marble statue covered in ice. Mohsen came to his senses, but his astonishment did not leave him. Why did you leave him like this? Was he extravagant in his speech? But why? And what should he have said then? He continued to think for a while, turning the matter around, until his self-talk ended on a calm shore, hope and contentment with what has happened up until today. His life since today with her is not a small thing, but now he can know a lot about her. He can know at least her name, and to know who she lives here with. Mohsen did not think more than that. He immediately ran to the hotel, went up to the 4th floor, looked for the room located below his room, and read its number, 38. Then he immediately went down to the hotel owner, greeted her with a gentle smile, and moved his lips. He was hesitant and did not know yet how to reach his goal without appearing to do anything, but the woman took the initiative. "Are you in your room, sir?" This question opened a way for the boy, and he said, "There is nothing wrong with it, even if I prefer the lower room." "Lower? On the 4th floor?" "She's busy, sir." "Occupied by a family?" "No, sir, but a young lady alone." The boy concealed a happiness that almost made his face shine. "Alone?" Then he immediately continued. "Yes." the Great War has made the girl here like the young man, seeking her livelihood on her own. Yes. This lady, if my suspicion is correct, she is the box office worker at the Odeon Theatre. Your opinion is correct, sir. Yes. I disagree with the Odeon very much. It is, if my memory is correct, Mademoiselle Marie? The woman smiled. No one knows whether it reflects malice, deceit, and insight, or whether it only reflects simplicity and kindness. Your memory failed you this time, sir. Her name is Mademoiselle Susie Dupont. Susie? This word slipped from his lips and he was in an ecstasy of inner joy similar to amazement. He immediately realized, controlled himself, and turned to the woman and said, "Thank you, my lady, for this time that I wasted on you." "Thank you." Then he left her and quickly went out onto the road, whispering, "Susie." Mohsen spent the rest of the morning sitting on a bench in the Luxembourg garden, engrossed in his many dreams. He used to come to this place in the afternoon of the first days of his arrival to Paris, and he was accompanied by an older citizen. This was a sheikh studying at Al-Azhar, and he came, Paris, to complete his higher studies, not as Mohsen studied law and literature, but to study comparative religion. He was free and loose. In Paris he loved women, and his mind was not open to any literature except the religious texts in the holy books, and even these he did not understand all their hidden meanings. It was his custom to take a walk in the gardens of Luxembourg to look at the legs of beautiful women. On the night he was planning to return to Egypt, he told Mohsen an amusing story. He said, "One day I met an old man with a white beard in the garden. He came like me to contemplate beautiful legs. His name was Anatole, and we used to meet every afternoon on the same bench. We watched the same thing together, and we are brought together by one purpose and one circumstance. One afternoon, I met my friend Anatole on Rue Saint-Michel, and we walked together, arms intertwined in friendship and love. Then we headed to the gardens. At that time, the peace conference was being held in Versailles, and Egypt had sent its national delegation to Paris to hear its voice and its demand for independence. As soon as the delegation arrived in Paris, it found all the doors closed in its face, and no newspaper would agree to write a single line about the delegation's mission, and it almost failed in its mission. While one of the delegation's men was walking by chance on Saint Michel Street, he saw me holding the sheikh's arm. He recognized me immediately, and his joy was immeasurable, as if I had descended on him from the sky. He said, "Do you know this gentleman well?" I said, "What, sir, this old man who accompanies me?" He said, "Yes, this is the biggest writer in Paris." I said, "This senile? He is Anatole France himself, with his own flesh and blood. Have you never heard people talk about Anatole France?" "Yes." "You stupid. 2 lines of it are enough for us and we succeed in our mission." "What? Who is that old man Anatole? Try to introduce me to him, as you will be providing a service to the country." For a moment I remained in astonishment with my mouth open. Then I started looking for my friend Anatole. Finally I found him in his usual seat, approached him, and for the first time I spoke to him with some respect, saying, "Sir, you are a great man, you are the greatest writer in France, forgive me my stupidity." Anatole France was astonished at first, then said, with signs of sadness evident on him. His secret was revealed by the intruder who met us on the road. Then he extended his hand to me and said, "What a loss! Our friendship is over." And he left me to walk alone. Only a few months had passed until Anatole France was writing an introduction to the book, The Voice of Egypt, published by Victor Marget, in which he defended Egypt and its independence.